What is going on, everybody? It is Justin and Nick here back from AyerMax. A little bit of a somber note today for today's video. We're going to be talking about the sudden and abrupt retiring of Andrew Luck. Yes, Captain Andrew Luck laid down his sidearm for good last night. If any of you guys follow the Captain Andrew Luck Twitter account, that joke will make sense.
That is a very underrated Twitter page.
Yeah, and I don't know who's going to have to switch it to now. But anyway, maybe I digress. So yeah, Andrew Luck, at age 29, it was leaked. It was an Adam Schefter. It was an atom bomb. Now, you like that? Instead of a Woj bomb, it was an Adam Schefter bomb. Came last night that said Andrew Luck is going to retire at age 29. He cited the lack of joy he's finding in football, the injuries he's dealt with, and he just doesn't want to go through it anymore. Set the Twitter world ablaze last night. Everybody was firing off hot takes as this all happened during the Colts-Bears preseason game last night. And Andrew Luck, did you see this? He was booed as he was walking off the field. So a lot of emotion down there in Indianapolis. We're gonna dissect that. And Nick, what were your initial reactions when you saw the atom bomb?
I thought this was a hoax because I follow a lot of not ESPN sports accounts on Instagram, and that's the first thing that popped up. I had like 2 or 3 of them, and I was like, what is this nonsense? Because he's obviously very young, and he still has a solid 10 years left to go. And when I saw this, I had no idea what to say. I still can barely grasp with it. And as someone who did get burnt out of a sport, I understand where he's coming from, but I just feel like the timing just kind of sucks.
The timing was terrible because if you follow the Indianapolis Colts, last year they put it together. So 2017, Luck was out the entire year. 2018, they started off the year 1-5. They sucked, and then they turned it around, made it to the playoffs, beat the Texans in the first round. But this offseason, they added a lot of stuff through the draft. The great GM, Chris Ballard, added a lot through the draft. He signed some key free agents. They actually had a complete team for the first time, I think, in a very long time. And they had very high expectations. They were they were a favorite to win the AFC South, and they were a heavy favorite to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they had 12-1 odds to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so and then all of a sudden your franchise quarterback who you've invested so much in and was supposed to lead your franchise for the next 10 years was like, guys, I've been beat up a lot. And
just gone.
He was like, I just want to go. I want to travel the world with his new wife. All right, let's talk about, right. So my reaction was this. I was at a wedding and I was checking my phone, and within 10 minutes of that Adam Schefter tweet, I had about a dozen missed calls and texts from people. First of all, just people asking if I was okay. So if any of you guys did that, I really appreciate it, because I've been a Colts fan for a long time, and it didn't feel great.
Well, I have a question. How long do you think he's going to stay retired for? Do you think it's a permanent thing, or do you think he's going to be retired for a year, find his mojo back when he watches Jacoby Brissett lead the Colts, and he's like, no, I'm coming back. I think I'm gonna.
I honestly think he's done. He doesn't strike me as the kind of person who makes decisions, he doesn't make decisions lightly. You know what I mean? He was crying at his press conference last night. He was going on about how it's really hard for him. So I think just because of that, everybody's like, his dad's the XFL commissioner, he's going to go play in the XFL. If you think that the offensive line that he was dealing with in Indy was bad, have him go play the XFL, where you have offensive linemen that are going to be way worse. So if you think a lacerated kidney and whatever else he had was bad, just wait till he goes and plays for a non-professional offensive line. That'll be fun.
You don't think this is MJ retiring in his prime?
No, there's no gambling scandal that makes Andrew Luck have to go play minor league baseball for the White Sox here. Just saying. I'm just saying.
And no, I agree with you. I don't strike him as the type of person to just do it and then come back. As much as I would love that, I think you're right. I think he's done, and unfortunately, the keys have been handed to Jacoby Brissett, and we'll see where that takes us.
Right. So you're right. There's a couple things though. The injury history of Andrew Luck is so long and extensive that we could almost do an entire video just on the different injuries the man has had. But I'm going to run through a couple briefly. September 2015, he sprained his shoulder. November 2015, he lacerated his kidney, partially tore his abdominal muscle. That was the game that he played Peyton Manning in Indy, Colts Broncos, and he lacerated whatever, and he still played through the game. January 2016, he had torn cartilage. November of that year, he had a concussion. January 2017, he had shoulder surgery. Missed all of 2017. He comes back. He plays all of last year. But March of this year, he strained his calf. And it's just been lingering, and that whole, basically it's just like from his leg down. It's hard to pinpoint exactly where he's hurt, because it started as like a calf, and then it went to an ankle, then a bone in the foot. So, this poor guy, he's been through a lot.
Yeah. He has. I just feel bad for him. I know how much it sucks. I wrestled for 8 years, and then towards the end, I felt the same way. And then I can't even imagine doing it on a scale this big. For him to want to quit, 2 weeks before the season, yeah, I feel for him. Unless I'm a fantasy owner, if I had just drafted him, I'd be pissed.
Like OJ.
Andrew Luck, what did I do to you? You could have retired an hour and a half ago.
Andrew Luck would be blacklisted in my book if I had just drafted him.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about it. The new starting quarterback in Indianapolis. It is Jacoby Brissett. I'm finding myself. I want to believe in Jacoby Brissett as a starter, but I'm hoping you can convince me that he will be a great starting quarterback.
I think he's got a shot, and there is one thing. Now this is just craziness, but I found this on Reddit. So it's obviously going to be 100% true.
Right.
But it is the prophecy of Madden. So I don't know if you've ever played Madden and just done a career or the franchise and simulated it. Jacoby Brissett always ends up being one of the best quarterbacks after 4 or 5 years. And so I was reading through some of the news on Reddit about Andrew Luck, and the funny thing is it popped up. And so one of the guys on Reddit was like, he becomes one of the greatest of all time in Madden franchise. So maybe he will. And then a whole chain of people, it's 10 or 15 people were replying yeah, every time you get 4 or 5 years in, he's on the Saints and balling out. So maybe this is the Madden prophecy fulfilling itself. And I'm hoping for it. He's got the keys, or he's got the line for it now. He's got the defense for it. He's got a few targets. I don't know. Maybe he could do it.
Well, everybody points to the 2017 season where he started most of the year. And first of all, that season he was thrown into it. He was not expected to. First of all, they acquired him right before the season started.
8 days.
Yeah, so he had that long to learn the playbook. When it became clear that Scott Tolzien wasn't the starting quarterback, he was thrown into action, had to learn the playbook, didn't know any of the receivers, and he still came out with almost 3,100 yards and a good touchdown to interception rate. All the while playing on a team with a garbage offensive line that made him get sacked 40 times and a defense that was 30th in points allowed per game. So, yeah, he gave you 4 wins, and I was able to get you a high draft pick the next year. But this year is completely different. The offensive line is one of the top 5 in football. They return all 5 of their starters.
Well, going back to Jacoby Brissett's sack problem, a lot of that is the Colts, but he also had a very high sack rate on the Patriots, even when Tom Brady and Jimmy Garoppolo were on there. They had a lot lower sack rates compared to Jacoby Brissett. So that's one thing to look for. But I do think that he'll be a lot better this year. Like you said, everything you said is true. I just think if he can make up his mind a lot quicker, and if he can grow as a quarterback, he'll be awesome.
I'm sorry, I make a correction. It's 52 times he was sacked last year. That was the most in football. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's quite a bit.
Yeah, if you get sacked 52 times, you're just running for your life at that point. Which brings me to my next point, which I just kind of turned into a mini rant. Ryan Grigson, the former Colts general manager, go to hell. He killed Andrew Luck.
Did you see on his Wikipedia page somebody had already put that he's single-handedly responsible for destroying Andrew Luck's career?
I didn't, but that's really funny because he absolutely is.
The internet's undefeated.
It is. Okay, this is a great tweet from Warren Sharp. Grigson killed Luck's career. Pressured 16 times per game under Grigson's watch. Most in NFL. He was hit most of any quarterback. From 2012 to 2015, Grigson drafted just 3 offensive linemen before round 7. Hugh Thornton, trash. Jack Mewhort, trash. Khalid Holmes, trash. Very sad. He's right. Spot the lie. Spot the lie. The worst general manager in the history of the Indianapolis Colts is single-handedly He's still screwing this team years after he doesn't work there anymore.
Yeah. It's sad to see this. And I pray that one day Andrew Luck comes back, but
yeah. It breaks my heart because Andrew Luck was one of the he's the most special talent at quarterback I've ever seen. Like, is he the best quarterback of all time? No. But is he, like, for when he was healthy, those years he was healthy, unrivaled. 11-5 in his first 3 seasons. Each of his first 3 seasons, he had that miraculous comeback against the Chiefs in the 2013 playoffs. He took the Colts to an AFC Championship game in 2014, the Deflategate game.
Yep.
When healthy, this guy was.
When healthy, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yes, and it makes me sad that we won't see him.
He's not going to get to that now, which is sad that we won't get to see him in his prime years with an actual good team, and it sucks that we're missing out on that. The fans really suffer on that one, but I don't know who do the Colts turn to in the future.
Great question, Nick. I was reading an article earlier, and it was a bunch of hypothetical, like, what if they want to trade for a quarterback? And it was like, should they trade for Eli or Fitzpatrick or any of these other guys? I think the answer lies in the draft, honestly. I think the Colts ride it out with Brissett this next year. They'll probably end up going like 7-9. They're not. I don't know if they're gonna make the playoffs with him as a starting quarterback, but they're not gonna be bad. You ride that out and you try to get either Tua Tagovailoa or Justin Herbert or one of these other college quarterbacks, and you start over. Which, I mean, it's not great, but
I say they go for Trevor Lawrence in 2 years when he comes out as a junior quarterback for Clemson.
But the thing is that the team is the way it's constructed now is win now. So, like, I don't know if you can wait 2 years to be like, all right, we finally got our franchise quarterback.
Yeah,
it's the kid with the long hair. No, I mean, I think they'll get creative this year. 7-9, 8-8. It's gonna be like the year that Luck was always hurt. When he missed a bunch of games, they always end up going 8-8 somehow. It's gonna be like that. But
yeah, this just still blows my mind.
It's hard. It's you never expect a starting quarterback in the prime of his career to hang it up.
What Luck should have done, he should have notified the Colts. If he's permanently done, he should have notified the Colts and let them trade him, and then retired.
Well, I think I saw a tweet from Ian Rappaport that said that, like, the Colts kind of had a feeling this was coming for about 2 weeks now, because the leg injury had morphed itself into something that was bigger than they had anticipated, and just Luck was worn down from having to do, as he said, the vicious cycle of injury rehab, all that stuff. So it's, yeah, as a longtime Colts fan, we'll get through it. You know, it's not gonna be easy, but it is what it is. And I'm happy for Andrew Luck, if that makes any sense.
No, Andrew Luck should have notified the Colts. Let them trade him for a good quarterback, and then he could have retired to screw over the whatever team it is. But.
Yeah. And hindsight's 20/20, but I feel like the team could have filed a grievance or whatever that was like, hey, you just gave us a quarterback that you knew was going to retire, and now we are out of a draft pick.
Oh
well. All right. So, like we said, and we wish Andrew Luck the best. All his fans in Indianapolis that booed him. Don't get me wrong. At the time, I probably would have been one of them. So it's hard for me to now sit on my high horse and go, that was bad. Like, the franchise quarterback just retired, and you found out via a tweet. Like, yeah, I would have reacted the same exact way. So, all those people that are on Twitter that are like, shame on Colts fans, the worst fans in football. All right, that'd be like if
that's like your ex like dumping you, and you're not upset or pissed off about it.
Right,
or your girlfriend dumping you.
Yeah, exactly. You would, if you're a true Colts fan and you're going to a preseason football game, you're a big time Colts fan. They're watching them play the Chicago Bears at a preseason game on a Saturday night. You're a good Colts fan. So I don't want to hear these people trashing the good fans of Indianapolis just because they found out via tweet that their the love of their life, the franchise quarterback that was supposed to take them to a Super Bowl, is done. So just take it easy, people. All right. Well, that's about all I got. So anything else?
No, guys. Just keep the Colts in your thoughts, and we'll see what they do this year. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, subscribe on YouTube, like, comment down below what you think is going to happen, how the Colts are going to do, and if Andrew Luck's going to come out of retirement. And we will see you all next time with another video.